This is Jim Charpentier. His wife said he could do this.
If I listen to her, yeah, right. I got my precious notes here. I think so, I wrote it. I left them home. We met part of this family in 1994 to show in Proctor, Minnesota. Got to visiting with them a lot and were invited to come to the 7-day run a week later. Said we didn't have a place to stay, we didn't have any stalls. We're told, come to our house, we'll take care of that. So that's how this relationship kind of started. This relationship has been a great one for a long time, and I hope we have many, many more years like this. One thing I got some humorous. One thing, the daughter that was kind of involved in this horse business, parents can be a little cheap or however you want to call it, but I was told that when she was showing horses that she got paid $30 a point. But during the week of riding and saddling and brushing and doing all that stuff, she got nothing. So I think, boy, somebody kind of was taking advantage of her a little bit that way. But she said that's the way it was, and the senior partner, if you want to call it, was pretty strict. That's the way it was going to be, take it or leave it. Okay, on a trip back from Iowa, we were coming back, we'd taken some horses down the Iowa border. I was driving the truck and all of a sudden the phone rang and said, how are you doing? And I said, well, your truck's running really good. I'm driving at 80 miles an hour. No, you're gonna ruin it, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Another trip that I made with this gentleman, I can say, we were going to get 4 horses, I think it was. And I said, where are we going? And he said, we're going to the North Pole. So it was 25 below or thereabouts when we left, which probably was dumb, but we left. Anyway, when we got to Swan River, the next morning, we stayed in that hotel, and we got to this place, went to pull in the driveway there, the sign said, welcome to the North Pole. And there was about 4 feet of snow, and a couple of those horses weren't broke too well, and it was kind of a joyous trip. And another trip, the last of trips, we went, and I don't remember the name of the town, and I forgot to ask, but we went into Canada, drove like a day and a half, and pulled into this gorgeous place with this house, kind of house trailer sitting on the hills and the valley and whatever. And I was driving, and we pulled in this gorgeous lady with a terrific shape came out to meet us, and I said, boy, I tell you what, I don't know if you buy a horse here or not, but boy, the scenery was sure great. Now, just a little smaller print. I wrote the others a little bigger, I think. I can read these okay. He had a Shetland pony growing up. After he got married in 1968, he bought a gray bay called Spirits. Because his wife was a horse, and I suppose, he had to go along with things. And they would ride at the local grounds 3 miles east of the house. Barrows, poles, keyhole, and of course the famous scoop shovel race, which I know quite a bit about because I was dragged many times on that. Going fast in the winter was harder unless you had a car for the ice races, which was racing cars on ice with snowbanks along the edge of the course. This was a particular fundraising along with snowmobiling racing. Both events interest them, and by participating, they were able to raise money for the horse shows, which grew to be weekends of shows by the early 70s, one needed a 7-day run. In the summer of 1969, they bought their first quarter horse, Chubs. She was riding, but couldn't be shown at shows because she wouldn't let her mother be trimmed. That fall, they bought their second horse,
White was one chosen. The following spring, he thought he had such a great horse, and he decided to start four-horse showing. He told his wife that Tiger was good enough to win, and so he made the first trip to Brookston in March of 1970 by himself. When he returned home, he had his first place trophy for the 69 Wheeling yearlings, and this started the trophy collection. He wanted to ride pleasure horses, but trail class became his favorite. He and Tiger Little went on to earn his first credit for American Trail. As the family grew older, the number of horses in the barn grew too. Some were bought at sale, Lee Mar 27, Cody J. Pine, Jules Diamond. She's a kid sensational game. All that reflects of the flowers, little Jim, big little rat, while others were raised. Little Stiffy Star, Freddie, Little Star, Two Dan Pines, Eyes of Mine, Dark and Sensational. It was a great one. She's a package, Edna Rose, famous little angel, third generation. Through the years, the number of horses increased to about 10. And sometimes as high as 15 or 17, and currently 12. The family has been involved in 4-H, open show, CHI, and quarter shows. In 1993, they upgraded the trailer to aluminum. It had covers and sink and tack in the back. It was used to go on the road in the summer and pull up the horses. He didn't go as much then to show as his wife and daughter went and worked on earning register here. Dark and sensational, better known as the Lottie Mouse changed it all. Too long. He was shown by 4 different people, 7 register merits on record. New goal was launched. He became the challenge that was accomplished in 2001 with an open championship, and in 2003, an amateur championship. He is now a horse that grandkids ride and talk about. And I remember the last award she got. I was there, it was in Canada. Man, I never thought he could jump that high when they announced that he won the class. He has earned 26 register merits, with the majority being in trail and halter. Many were earned by other members of the family and our family. He has 34 years of registered babies with AQHA 1974 to 2012. He takes great pride in having a line combination of his budget. That's tough when he's a little tough with your budget. He's an AQH member since 1969 and an MQH member since 1973. He has ring stewarded all of the major big shows in the state of Minnesota for many, many, many years. He and his wife, 3 children, 2 was married, and 7 grandchildren will call him Papa because he didn't like being called Grandpa because he thought that made him cool. This is what I have to say about this particular individual. For those of you, and I know there are many of you don't even have any idea who I'm speaking about, but the inductee into this, for this award was Mr. Jerry Daniels.
You guys all sneaking in the back corridor. Get out here. Where's that little...
Oh, you don't know, but a lot of you do and a lot of you don't. Jerry's dealing with a major health problem right now, so please keep him in your thoughts. Healing and Alfred